Hi, this is Beth Azor, and this is my podcast, I Own a Shopping Center, Now What? So today I'm going to speak to you about rental rates. It's super, super important to prepare a market study for your market on it, if not definitely annual basis, but maybe twice a year, because markets shift all of the time. And if you are buying a shopping center and you have 3 vacancies and the rest of the market has 1 vacancy, then let's say your rent is $15 a square foot, triple net. Well, now 6 months later, something happens. There's a shift, whatever that could be. Maybe there's road construction, maybe there's a fire, maybe there's a recession, maybe a big anchor moves out. You could drive around your market and realize that those 3 or 4 or 5 shopping centers that had 1 vacancy when you bought yours and when you had 3 vacancies, and you're wondering why you cannot lease your plaza or why your agents are having a hard time leasing your space, your vacancies. When you do a drive around and you see that those 5 shopping centers that had 1 vacancy now have 4 each, something happened. And if your market now has 16 vacancies instead of 4, your rates are no longer $15 triple net. So it's crucially important. And this is, again, not what you can find on online sources, really. I mean, look, if you're in Chicago and your center is in Atlanta, you can certainly look at online sources. I would highly recommend that you also go to the website of the companies that own or that are leasing the plazas, and then follow up with a phone call. If you can't actually be in the market, then you need to go to those steps: online sources, company website, and then calling directly the broker or the owner to try to get accurate information. And then if you can't come to the market, pay a maintenance guy or someone to go and maybe do a video or to call and tell you how many vacancies. Because this happens a lot, I find, where owners aren't up to date on the vacancies in the market. Now, alternatively, the same thing happens. You buy a shopping center, you have 3 vacancies, and the rest of the market has 2 or 3 vacancies. And 6 months later, all of those centers are full. And you have a lot of activity on the 3 vacancies you have at your 15. Actually, maybe you have 6 deals that you're maneuvering for your 3 vacancies. And you're having a hard time picking which of the 3 that you want. And you have no idea that in the marketplace, there's no other vacancies. And that would absolutely come into play when determining which spaces, which tenants you're going to take, how firm you need to be with your negotiations, how firm you need to be with any incentives, TI, discounted rent, annual increases, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So again, I know I've spoken about market knowledge before many times, but I don't think I was clear about how, when the shift happens, whether it's occupancy increases or vacancy increase, how it can impact you. And if you don't have your eye on the ball and you're relying on online sources that are always behind the 8 ball. The online sources that you look at today are very often not accurate because they're old. So that's what I wanted to talk to you all about today, whether it's pushing harder and being more firm, or maybe when you need to be relaxed a little bit because either there's more vacancy in the market than you realize, or the occupancy is higher than you realize. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or you have any topics you would like to discuss, please feel free to reach out, DM me, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, and I'll see you next week.